Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Senaton, and welcome to today's video for Legends of Runeterra. Today it is another day of spoilers. For the upcoming Runeterra set, A Curious Journey. Champion day today, no keyword though. But we got a new champion. We got Demacia Day. It's GALIO for today. Gonna be playing around with some formidable stuff. He looks pretty strong. He, compared to Yumi, I'd say he has me a lot more excited to actually try out a lot of decks. Um, Mostly because he seems like the one of the styles I like to play, which is just slow-ish, somewhat durdle kind of strategy, and that seems fun. Only 2 pages of cards today. I think there's only maybe 5 cards or so today that have been revealed. Not that many. So probably not going to be a too long video. Plus, GALIO himself is honestly not that complex. So probably not going to be too long, but let's go and look at GALIO anyway. So, big boy GALIO, 7 mana champion, very, very expensive card, 0/8, spell shield, 4, and formidable. Okay, that's pretty nice. What does he do? When I'm summoned, grant other allies +0/+3, and when he levels up at the end of the round if your allies have 25 or more health. First impressions, that's a very tough level up condition. When I analyze it and look at it a little more, it's not that tough. So what does GALIO do when he does level up though? Well, he gets +0/+1. One of the few chances it doesn't get +1/+1 when they level up. He's now a 7 mana 0/9, still has spell shield, still has formidable. Very good. Still has his summon ability. It's still the same amount of stats, +0/+3 to other allies. The main difference is now, each round, the first time an ally takes damage, rally. So yeah, I get it. I know. I've seen a lot of people say like, oh boy, another rally card in Demacia. And I get it. It is annoying. But sure, it's fine. It's a very powerful effect. I like it. I think this is very good. And the rally from GALIO is not necessarily too aggressive, like say like a Lucian level up or a Golden Aegis even. It feels like the GALIO level up's not just meant to be like, okay, I'm like it's a pushing in a lot of damage trying to win right now. It's just meant to be annoying, being like, hey, chump block this or die, and maybe get some challenger value too while you're at it. That's how I'm looking at GALIO. But yeah, let's talk about GALIO. And we'll talk about his champs a little later. He's a big boy. He is a very big boy. Technically an 8/8 for 7. Yes, I'm gonna say he's an 8/8, even though that's not really how formidable works. And if you care about formidable, you can always, if you want to learn what formidable is, you can just watch my video from yesterday, which is where I talked about the keyword when it was revealed. But yeah, effectively an 8/8 for 7 with spell shield. That's pretty good on its own. Like, I would not play a 7 mana 8/8 with spell shield. Like, that sounds awful. But when he comes down, he gives the team a huge health boost. And if you're playing a formidable deck, which you probably should be if you're playing GALIO, you want to be taking advantage of the health boost that GALIO's giving you. That's pretty good. A health buff is really good to some formidable units and even non-formidable units too, like just units. Almost pretty much every single unit would like a nice +3 to their health. The only thing I'd say that's bad about him on both his level 1 and level 2 form is he doesn't really have a finisher keyword, if that makes sense. Like, not fearsome, not overwhelmed, elusive. And without no finisher keyword, he doesn't have like a control keyword. So like tough, challenger, lifesteal, regeneration, none of those. So I'd say that's where he's a little weak, but I think he's still strong though. Like, sure, no good keyword like that, but spell shield's, I guess, decently defensive. So I think he's powerful, but he's not like overpowered. He's not like a release day Poppy or something like that's, and that's good. That's good. I don't like champions that are obviously OP on release. Like, maybe he will be strong. Maybe he'll be so strong he needs a nerf, but he's not obviously OP like how Poppy was when she was first revealed. Speaking about Poppy, Poppy's a pretty good champ to pair with Galio if you want to go lower to the ground, I feel. Go low, go wide. Use Poppy to buff your other Petricite formidable cards. Me personally, the deck I want to build is Soraka Galio. I know some people are also thinking Braum Galio, but I want to play Soraka Galio for a few reasons. One, Soraka heals your formidable units. That's insane. Soraka has huge health herself. You could play some Star Springs as well in that deck for an alternate win con, and the heals are also really nice for your formidable units. Soraka will probably level up really easily because you're playing Targon and Star Springs and healing, and these formidable units will most likely they'll most likely be getting blocked, or if you're using the Challenger one, whose name I can't remember, Petricite Brave Wing, I want to say maybe. That doesn't sound right, but it could be that. It's not Petricite Hound, that's the one drop. But I think it's like Petricite Brave Wing, maybe Broadwing, something like that. The Challenger one, the 2-mana 0/3 Challenger Formidable, that will be taking some damage. It's kind of like a Boxtopus, but you don't you don't need to be in Bilge Water. So playing Petricite Broadwing and Petricite Hound instead of, say, Krusty Codger and Boxtopus is pretty nice. So you don't have to play Bilgewater. Because Bilgewater's not that great for Soraka. Like, sure, Tom's nice. Some of the spells are okay, but it's really mostly a Targon deck. And plus Galio, you also have you have Star Shaping. Yeah, Star Shaping for Big Celestial if you want that too. Decent healing as well. Radiant Guardian as well if you want more healing as well. So I like the idea of Galio. Galio Soraka seems really powerful, but I think the strongest version of Galio is going to be some kind of low to the ground Poppy plus maybe even Yordle Smith deck. So who knows? Still though, big fan of Galio. Can't wait to try him out with Soraka. Now for his champion spell, Shield of Durand. I should look up how that's pronounced, by the way. Durand. I'm gonna keep saying Durand. 3-mana burst speed spell. Grant an ally +0/+3. Okay. At the next round start, grant it +0/+2. All right. I've seen some people say this card is bad. And I don't get it. They're like, oh, it's just a different type of prismatic barrier. This is much better than prismatic barrier, in my opinion. Prismatic barrier is very, like, close to playable. But it's not that great because the main reason why barrier spells are not that great at the moment, in all honesty, outside of Bright Seal Protector, is there's a lot of pings in the meta. Pokey Sticks, Group Shots, Go Hards, Vile Feast, etc., etc. This doesn't care about pings as much. And if we look at, like, Tom Raka, they have a card. They have Astral Protection. Astral Protection is the 4-mana heal an ally for 4, granted +0/+4. And that card is played as like a 2 of to a 3 of in Tom Raka decks. I don't see why this card wouldn't be played at least as a 2 of in any deck playing Galio / any deck playing Formidable. And I honestly think this card will even see play outside of Galio decks. One, the fun version, or the fun idea is Fiora. Give this buff to Fiora. Turn 1 pass, turn 2 pass, turn 3 Fiora plus Shield of Durand backup. That's a 3/5 Fiora that will become a 3/7 next turn. That's insane. Now, I'm not saying all in Fiora is back because mini morphs still exist, but a lot of these cards are actually really nice with Fiora. The scary thing, though, is Scouts. I don't know if Scouts can fit this kind of card in it, but Shield of Durand on Misfortune. How are you killing Misfortune that's been hit by a Shield of Durand? I feel like you'll have to use a hard removal spell, like a Vengeance or a Minimorph or something, because you're not killing Misfortune if they shield it. They shield her. So yeah, and also 3 mana burst speed for +0/+5, pretty much, is strong in a lot of decks. And in a formidable deck, that's kind of like +5/+5. That's pretty good. Since it's burst speed and not focus speed, you can play it during combat too to get a nice buff to your units that are formidable as well to help kill things. Doesn't really help you against as a protection spell. Doesn't really help you against certain cards like Vengeance though, or Culling Strike, which is something people are looking at for formidable decks. But it's pretty strong. And I'm looking forward to using this card a lot in a lot of different types of decks. But it does feel like a card that could break if you play it as a 3 of, so I'm going to start with it as a 2 of in a lot of decks. I'll put it in. Anyway, next page of cards. I think we got, 3 more cards left. Shield Iran, we already talked about it. Mountain Drake. I like this card. First off, it's a dragon, so more dragon synergy maybe. Dragon Researcher, Egghead Researcher, whatever his name is, the 2-mana 1/3 that when you summon him, he gives you a dragon. Maybe he likes this. I'm not sure. I was going to say a cheap dragon, but it's not that cheap. There are 5-mana dragons out there. I was going to say maybe this helps out dragons by giving them another cheap dragon that's not Wounded White Flame. But still, I really, really like this card. 5-mana, 0/6 dragon. Formidable and Fury. Pretty much no text. It does have text, but its text basically changes how its Fury is working, and Fury grants this guy +0/+2 instead of +1/+1. Outside of that, nothing else. It's nothing too crazy going on here. So the way I'm looking at it is like a lot of other formidable units, it's a 5-mana 6/6 with Fury, and that's okay. I think I would play that. Now, we have other things in the 5-mana slot in dragons. I can't remember the name of it, but there's the 5-mana 5/5 with Spell Shield, which is not that great. And Screeching Dragon. Screeching Dragon is great. Now, in Demacia, though, will I play this over Screeching Dragon? I'm not sure. I think between Mountain Drake and Screeching Dragon, it's going to be very crowded for the 5-mana slot. Still, though, I like the card. I don't think I would. I think I might play it in a formidable deck, but it'll be the only dragon in the formidable deck, so I'm probably not going to play something like Dragon Chow. And as Dragon Chow gets struck, I assume Mountain Drake does kill Dragon Chows because of how Formidable works. Formidable works on strikes, and the dragon would strike the Chow, so I assume Chow would kill it and not just give a free card draw. So yeah, I like it. I like it. I guess I can say, and you can just say this about a lot of these formidable cards, it is a little weak to Silence, Equinox, Hush, etc., but that's just a weakness of the deck. It feels like the formidable deck's going to have a couple of weaknesses. Fearsomes and Silences feel like the biggest 2 weaknesses. But yeah, I like the idea of this guy. If you play this guy and he starts snowballing, he snowballs hard. Like really, really hard too. And maybe he can see play in some dragon decks, so you can play Dragon's Clutch with this guy, giving him Overwhelm. I like it. I'm not sure it's too strong though. It is a big high health unit though, and Galio does like that for his level up, so maybe you'll just play it in your Galio deck because it's a high health unit to help your Galio level up. At least you'll play as like a 1, maybe a 2 of. So I like it in that sense, but I'm not too crazy on it in other decks that are not Galio decks, even Dragon decks. I'd rather just play Screeching Dragon. Next card. It's an epic card, so you know it's going to be bad. Ha ha ha. Gorlith, the Unscalable. 9-mana 0/10. Okay, he's expensive. He better do something big. He has Tough. Okay, Tough is nice. And formidable, of course. When I'm summoned, swap my health and your Nexus's health. I can't be blocked by enemies with less health than me. Interesting. It's also been confirmed already by Riot employees, Riot devs, that if you somehow give Gorlith more than 20 HP, you can technically have more than 20 HP on your Nexus. How do you do that, you might ask? Sejuani boats. Sejuani boats seem like the easiest way to give this guy a lot of HP. You play 2 Sejuani boats, he has 40 HP. Cool. And then you'll have 40 health. Someone's going to do that as a meme. There's going to be a meme deck out there. Someone, some person, some YouTuber is going to do a meme video and be like, oh, I have 80 health from Gorlith. Wow. As for this card, though, I'm not the biggest fan of it, in all honesty. I wish it could. So I don't know if this would be way too strong, and I don't think it would because 9 mana. I wish you could target your opponent's Nexus and be like, I can swap my health with any Nexus's health or whatever. And before you say like, wow, that would be OP, I don't think so. It's 9 mana. The way I look at this guy is like a Commander Ladros, an expensive card that's affecting the Nexus, except instead of, in the case of Commander Ladros, who halves the HP of your opponent, Gorlith is, well, not really increasing, just changing your HP to 10. Or more if he has more health, of course. Also, he's not a play ability, too, so you can't really react. That'd be cute. You play him, his play ability goes off, and then you play, like, Shield of Durand or something, so you could get even more health, turn Shield of Durand into a healing spell. That'd be really cute, but sadly, you can't do that. Because it is a summon ability. So he's interesting, though. Swap my health and your Nexus health. Can't be blocked by enemies with less health than me. So if you have a lot of health and your opponent just doesn't block him, like that's the one thing I'm going to say. Like, he is hard to block. Now, granted, he is 9 mana. Like, I'm going to keep saying this. 9 mana cards have to do a lot when they come down to justify 9 mana, really. And this guy can win games. He comes down and you have relatively high health, even if it's not that high. Let's just say like 8 health. You have 8 health. He heals you up to 10, and now he's an 08. He attacks in, and he can't be blocked by things that have less than 8 health. 8 health to face? Seems pretty good. Of course, though, I can see like a lot of things that can get around that. Stuns, Vengeance, Silence, etc., etc. But I think he's pretty good. I see him kind of like Bright Steel formation, maybe? You'll play him as like a 1, maybe a 2 of as the top end in your Galio decks, but here's the thing. Bright Steel formation saw some play in Shen Fiora because it didn't play that many expensive cards. I think if you're trying to play this like Bright Steel formation, the problem with that is Galio also is expensive, and by playing even just 1 of these and 3 Galios, that's 4 cards that cost 7 or more mana. You're starting to run into the risk of breaking your hand with expensive cards you can't cast and getting run over by anything aggressive. I guess I should mention it is an epic too, so Telescope can pull it out. So it's like pseudo healing you can get from a Telescope, which is somewhat nice too. But yeah, I like the card. I like him. Very cute card, very interesting, very fun. Not sure how viable it is, but it is really, really fun. And seems pretty decent. Last card, though. Last card. Winds of War. 3 mana slow spell. Heal an ally to full. Then that ally and an enemy strike each other. So single combat. So it's a single combat that costs 1 more mana and is slow speed. The trade-off is you get to heal your ally first before the combat. Is that good? Yes, it is a good spell. Will I play it over, say, single combats and concerted strikes? I don't think so. Will I play it alongside them? Maybe not, because you don't want to have a bunch of strike spells and no units to strike with. I do think this card is good, though. I will say that. I do like this card. I think it's very good with certain cards. Specifically, I think it's really, really good with Wounded White Flame. I think Wounded White Flame loves this card. Getting a full heal on your White Flame and then getting a strike something, getting a Fury trigger as well. So Mountain Drake, I guess, would like it too because of Fury. So I like it in that sense. I don't see myself playing it as a 3 of. I think like a 1 of, maybe a 2 of in certain decks. Formidable decks, of course, and maybe others too that are just playing high health units that maybe like high health faded units or something. But I feel like most of the time in deck building, you'd rather just play single combat. Really, the slow speed is the biggest issue in my opinion. And that's fine. Slow speed is whatever. It's a very strong spell. If this card was fast, it'd be nuts. But yeah, between single combat, strafing strike, concerted strike, and now winds of war, you have a lot of strike spells to choose from. And I think single combat still is just beating everything else with just how cheap it is. And the fast spell. Fast speed helps too. I do like it though, like in the Soraka Galio deck too, because it does heal, helping your Star Spring, so that's nice. But yeah, like I like the idea of the card. I'm not sure how good it's gonna be. And I like Galio overall. Like that's just the conclusion of the video. Galio's fun. He looks great, formidable, and all the units with formidable seem really interesting and exciting to play with. And it seems like it'll be a fun deck to play against too. Like nothing too annoying. Like it feels like it's an interactable deck, if that makes sense. Like, oh no, you're buffing up your units with formidable. Okay, I'll ping them. I'll use mystic shots. I'll use get excited. I'll use, spells to try and chip away at the formidable units to make their strikes not as powerful before the damage goes through. So I like that idea. It's like, oh, nice formidables. Let me avalanche before combat goes through to shrink the formidables real quick. But yeah, I like it. I like it. I also really, really like that this gives Soraka a home outside of Tom. People have tried a lot of decks with Soraka outside of Tom, Braum, Zillion, other such things, and nothing really succeeded as well as Tom Raka. And Tom Raka's kind of bad right now too anyway. So I like that in theory this will Galio and the Formidables help out Soraka as well, because she is one of my favorite champs. Helps out Braum too, who's a fringe champ who I feel like is just needing a couple more cards to be strong. And with Freljord getting a lot of cards too this set, Braum might actually become meta too. Between like Galio, Braum, and maybe some of the new Freljord cards might make Braum meta. Just a little scared of like Noxus with their Culling Strikes, Reckonings, Targon with their Silences, every region that can play them. Fearsomes are also scary too. So I like that it seems like there's obvious counterplay out there too in case Galio does get too strong. Just switch to those decks right away. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions on Galio. Do you think he's good? Do you think he's bad? Do you think some of these cards would be really great in decks that are not Galio decks? I'd love to hear your opinions and your ideas of how to build Galio, what kind of deck ideas you got. And if you guys just enjoyed the video in general, I'd love it if you could leave a like or a comment down below. Always helps me out, always helps out the channel. And if you guys want to keep up with the Legends of Runeterra content, you can always go and subscribe to the channel as well. And if you want to watch me play some Legends of Runeterra, you can go and check me out over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Senaton, where I stream pretty much every single day. Anyway, though, with that all said and done, thank you all again once more for watching this video. And until I see you guys in the next one, bye!